whoever made this hummus did the damn thing. Did the damn thing.
You say hi, we stay high, you look so pretty, yeah.
So today's video is going to be a little chit chat. Get ready with me. I'm going to be talking about the downfall of Becca Cosmetics, and I'm going to be talking about 2020 beauty launches, but mostly I'm going to be roasting them because
it's not even giving what y'all said it was supposed to give. No, I wasted my money.
it's giving very unseasoned, it's giving very uninterested, so we're going to talk about it. But before we get into today's video, I'd like to give a shout out to the subscriber of the week. Thank you so much for supporting me, and if you'd like a chance to be the subscriber of the week, make sure to like, subscribe, share, but most importantly, comment down below and I will feature you up here, maybe, in the next video. Going in with the Fit Me foundation, literally cannot justify spending as much money as I have in the past on makeup anymore because I don't wear it anymore. I would beat my face at least like once or twice a week to go to work. Because of masks, there's literally like no reason for me to put in that extra effort. It's gonna be under the mask, it's gonna cause breakouts, and I'm trying to get my skin back on track. A video coming up on like how I messed up my skin. Yeah, I just can't justify wearing makeup unless I'm filming. Anywhoozles, let's talk about Becca. Becca is a cosmetics brand, and they've been in big chains like Sephora and Ulta in the US for a really long time now. I'm Canadian, by the way, for those of you who don't know, Team Canada. I started getting into makeup around 2017, so like anything before that, like, I'm sorry, I'm just not gonna be talking about it because I don't know anything about it, and in my opinion, wasn't relevant. Anyways, they got really relevant around, I want to say 2015. This mega influencer named Jaclyn Hill. I'm sure you've heard the name. She's been in lots of controversy, but she's also dropped a lot of collaborations that have done really well, like the one with the Morphe. Fun fact, my first ever like makeup palette was the Jaclyn Hill palette with Morphe, the first one, and I still have it to this day. Anyway, so they collaborated with Jaclyn Hill and they did the Champagne Pop collection, which did amazing. It was a highlighter, and so this was, you know, the 2016-2015 era when everybody and their mama were highlighting. Becca was already kind of on the map then, but this really like thrust them into fame. Okay, so the reason why I'm talking about Becca and like their downfall is because they recently announced that they would be shutting down at the end of this year, and actually did a sale where they're just trying to get rid of inventory. So they're like, if you buy a bag, you get free stuff. One of the two, but basically they were selling stuff for the low, trying to get rid of inventory so that they could say bye-bye at the end of the year. And so I'm gonna go back in time and kind of talk about where I think they went wrong. So after the success of Champagne Pop, like their branding is very glowy, your skin but better, not your skin but better, but it's very like glowy, highlighted, like sun-kissed. I'll just put up images because I can't conceptualize them like properly using words. So that's their brand, and so I just feel like they did well during the highlighter era, and I think they just took it and ran with it. They're like, okay, this is working with us, so this is all we're gonna do. So 2017 passed, 2018 passed, 2019 came, 2020 came, and people sort of started moving away from highlighters. It wasn't that people weren't using them anymore, because people still use them like in their makeup routine, but they were less of like this brand new like commodity, and it was kind of like, okay, like whatever. And like the market frankly was just super oversaturated. Like everybody already had a highlighter. There were like 10 different thousand ones. Drugstores came out and like made dupes for high-end ones, or like ones that were really similar, and there's so many great formulas, so highlighters became less of like that it product over time. But Becca was still putting out like that glowy highlighter like type product, and everyone was like, read the room. People joke and say, oh my god, like that is so insert year here, but Becca is actually, that is so 2017. And I also think that they didn't hop on the influencer train when it was really beneficial for them. Like, they took all the wrong things and ran with them. Like, Jaclyn Hill was doing very good on YouTube and she was a super great influencer and they used her and Champagne Pop went well. But instead of utilizing more influencers and running with that, they ran with the trend. And I think their downfall kind of arose from them sticking with trends instead of, like, I don't want to say like mainstays, because influencers come and go, but like, you know, just things that are more, that have more longevity. So they ran with the trend of highlighters instead of adapting with the market. And so brands were coming out with these new things and innovating, and they were just kind of there like, you know, in my own lane, doing my own thing. And there's a difference between being in your own lane and doing your own thing and doing it well and innovating, and then there's just like being stuck in the past and staying there and not adapting with the times. And that's what they did. They didn't do collabs or brand trips. And then they also, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. I had a really good point. Of course it's a good point, but what was my point? Yes, and then they just collaborated with like irrelevant people. Okay, let me rephrase that. So they did a collaboration with Khloe Kardashian and Malika, and they're like friends, and it was like a best friends collection. And I'm not saying that those people are irrelevant, because literally a Kardashian and their best friend. But again, read the room, Becca. Like, people put their trust, especially the market you're appealing to, like makeup users and people who like makeup, especially like in Sephora and stuff like that, put their trust in influencers who actually sit down and review products for a living. Like, that's their job, versus a celebrity who, like we've established, is like untouchable, and you don't have that same kind of connection to them because there's distance. Whereas influencing and people on social media have kind of broken down that barrier by letting you like into their lives and into their homes. I don't say it didn't make sense for the brand, but it was just kind of like there, you know? And so they're stuck in the past with like the whole glowy highlighter thing, and then they make some like poorly strategized move in terms of collaboration, and then the hit. And I think it was just a wrap from them. Like, they were going down. Like, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, like, I haven't been wearing makeup as often, and I'm looking for like more affordable alternatives for when my stuff that I have now runs out, because I know it's not an essential anymore. It never was an essential, mind you, it's makeup, right? But like, it's no longer something that I use often enough to justify spending like $30 on a singular product. So people were moving away from spending on makeup in general, and so all brands have taken a hit. But the ones like Becca that are just like not innovating and not making strategic moves in terms of marketing and branding just kind of, you know, got the worst end of the stick. And unfortunately, Becca can no longer operate, and so they're shutting down at the end of the year, and it's really sad, but it's like the reality. And I hope other brands kind of take note, and like start to do better. But looking on Trendmood, so if you don't know, Trendmood is this page on Instagram, and it's kind of like an announcement, like what's going on in the beauty space type of page. So if you want to see like what's being launched in that month, you go to Trendmood. So speaking of brands innovating and, you know, making stuff that we want to pull out our coins for, especially like in the middle of a global and you know, not having a lot of disposable income for whatever reason. There are a plethora of reasons for that to happen, but like, oh no, we're not doing that. We are not doing that. Urban Decay is releasing another palette. I'm sorry, but even if I wasn't a person of color, their palettes just give me chalk. All I'm getting from this palette is chalk and then 2 blue shades. Like it's giving me chalk, honey. It's giving me chalk. They beat the Naked train to death with their Naked palettes. They're all very similar. They took the horse and they ran it to the ground, and now we're just like, enough. Like, enough. I'm tired. Everybody has seen it already. We just give us something new or don't give us anything at all. I'm tired of brands launching things for the sake of launching things. Like, how about you perfect your old formulas? How about you expand your shade ranges? I'm not speaking to Urban Decay specifically. In this instance, I'm talking in general. Like, stop dropping things for the sake of dropping things, especially because we're not buying them and it's just costing you money. And start perfecting your stuff or coming up with concepts that people actually want to buy, because this has been done. Case in point, the e.l.f. palette. That is very similar. We're tired. February is Black History Month and ColourPop released something. Are we surprised? No, because they released like I can't keep up at this point. Like, I cannot keep up with their launches. They just decided, you know what, we're dropping anything and everything and whatever sticks, and I cannot keep up with their launches. It feels like every single month they're launching a new palette, and they are contributing to like the oversaturation of the market. And on top of that, they like recreate their own palettes. Like, it's not even like, oh, like I saw this in another brand. It's like, no, I saw this in your brand. And so for Black History Month, they released this black collection. It's kind of cute. It's just not wow. I wouldn't buy it. Next is Fenty Skin. I love Fenty Beauty. Will not buy Fenty Skin because of their ingredients. And it's just like an eye cream for your under eye, helps with like puffiness and stuff like that. I learned that eye cream is basically overpriced moisturizer, and I already pay enough money for my moisturizers that if it's unnecessary, I don't see a point in using it. I'm putting on a white base on my eye because I'm doing eyeshadow for the first time for The next one is this KKW launch. I'm not gonna name it by name, but you know the one. It's giving chalk. A lot of these are giving chalk, except for like 1 to 2 shades in like the bottom right. It looks like every single one of her launches. Like, I feel like a lot of brands are just recreating their own palette. Next is the Lady Balls lipstick. I believe it's by Too Faced. Correct me if I'm wrong. I do not get the branding. Well, actually, no, I do understand the branding. I just don't agree with it. And here's why. The whole thing is like, it's supposed to be empowering. What I'm trying to say is like, it's kind of problematic in the sense that it's like balls, so like male's masculinity, and it's supposed to be empowering. So basically we can only, or not we can only, I'm sure like they are aware there are other ways to be empowered, but it's basically like, to be empowered, being empowered is proximity to manhood, essentially. So Lady Balls, why couldn't it be, I'm picking at it. I'm really picking at it, and like, I'm not trying to be annoying, but I'm just saying, like, why is empowerment proximity to manhood? Like, why can't we just be empowered because we're women? Like, why does it have to be Lady Balls? Why can't it just be lady? Why can't being a lady just be empowered? dark blue shade to deepen up my crease. The crease has been cut. It looks a mess. Try to fix it. Hold up. I'm working on it. So this is the finished look. And if you'd like, comment down below some discussion topics for a future Get Ready With Me. I'll definitely try to get to them. Thank you so much for watching up until this point. I really appreciate you. And have a lovely day. Deuces.